Hello, my fellow Ghoul Renegade, and welcome back to a brand new video of Ghoulish Reacts. And welcome to day 4 of Iris Week. Now, I would like to mention now that this is one of the last 3 videos that I'm going to be making for Iris Week. Unfortunately, on Saturday, December 16th, I will not have a video for Iris Week as it will be concluded by them because, honestly, there is no more videos. So I'm going to make these last 3 videos essentially, and then Iris Week will be officially done. Because once I looked at the rest of the videos I had to go through, being the Valentin Renegade arc, I figured if I watch like 5 videos, I can make 3 uploads for the rest because the Valentin Renegade arc has 15 videos in it. So I segment it by 5, and then I only have to make 3 videos, and then that's it. So by the time Saturday comes, Iris Week will be over. So which is the 16th was my desired end date anyway, so I guess it just works out in the end. But anyway, now that we have finished the Vegala arc and we finished the Behemoth arc, we are now rolling into the 3rd Iris story arc known as the Valentin Renegade arc. This is where we actually get to learn about the planet that is connected to the depths on the other side of Hithafol, Yondrathal. We are going to be learning about Nidoria, and the family we're going to be learning about this time is the Valentin legacy. So we're going to learn about Abram Valentin, his father, his mother. We're going to meet Dovacom. We're going to meet all of these brand new characters that are going to be introduced to us within the Valentin Renegade arc. So we're starting off with our first video today, Gabriel's Final Will. Let's get into it.
To my loving family, if you are reading or hearing this, chances are I, Gabriel Valentin, have fallen.
Oh.
I can't imagine the pain you're all feeling at a time like this. To my fellow subjects, your hospitality, kindness, and spirit made what was impossible possible.
I want to read what this thing says here. Here lays the heart of the beginning, only to be held by the end of reckoning. Ooh, that sounds kind of ominous.
My duty was to continue the Valentin legacy passed down from my mother, Grace Valentin.
Okay.
In a new day and age of technology, we continue to unify our scientific studies and our connections with the tribe to bring you new tools.
Alrighty.
I do hope the Cairo chips serve you well. Who would have thought? Paying for your groceries by just thinking about it. Some could call that magic. As a further token to you all, on this day, it will be celebrated as Valor Day, the world's day of vacation. 50% of my assets are to be put back into housing millions more civilians stricken by the clutches of poverty, and to the tribe for assisting us in working together, unifying the world once more. Please prosper.
50% of Gabriel's assets are going solely to the tribe and to poverty-stricken citizens. That's actually pretty cool. So it can be probably widely assumed that since Gabriel Valentin is the ruler of the Valentin legacy at this moment, he's a pretty rich dude, not going to lie. Probably because of all the technology he's made, most likely. So he invented something called the Cairo chip that basically you can think about purchasing something and you purchase it. So like whether it be groceries or maybe online shopping. So this, the planet of Nidoria is very technologically enthralled. Okay, that's kind of cool. It's been a while since I've watched the Dawn of the Demetrix story video, so there might be some things that I kind of forgot or missed. So if I'm not as clear on the or on the ball with the lore as I usually am for like the older videos and stuff like that, even the story of Vegala, I mean, that was kind of me experiencing newer lore, but I still also kind of knew about it a little bit, bits and pieces. But I gave my own thoughts as well. But if I'm not totally on the ball with Dawn of the Demetrix, it's because I haven't watched these in a very, very long time. And that could also be said for like beginning Behemoth and like, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that I remember from Iris. It's just there's certain parts that I just don't remember because I haven't seen it in a long time.
And continue to be the shining beacon you all can be.
Okay.
And thank you for allowing me to serve you. To my sweet darling, Bethany Valentin, I do hope you're handling the news well. I don't want that smile to ever leave your precious face. We made it to the big 40, didn't we? 40 long and unregretful years together, raising 2 of the most wonderful children. To you, I give you the rest of my assets, the other half of our love and grace necklace, and a special key just for you. I trust you know what I'm talking about. Please keep...
That's interesting. So Gabriel and his wife Bethany have been together for 40 whole years. That's 4 decades. So I had to do some quick math through that. that was pretty funny how I just pulled that out there. I was like, how many decades is that? Oh, that's 4 decades, yeah. Okay. And so he gave her a key, and he prays that she knows what he's talking about. I wonder what that key is.
Keep an eye on the boys for me as well. Keep them out of trouble if you must. To my sons, Jebediah and Abram. My boys. Words cannot describe how proud of you both I am. You're growing up to be fine gentlemen. I know the two of you don't see eye to eye, but I have a feeling you two are going to need each other now more than ever. Smiths, let it be known that I entrust both of my sons to the position I leave behind.
Oh.
Call it a future coalition. Two brothers working together side by side. I couldn't think of anything better.
Oh, as soon as he said 2 brothers working side by side, after the line where he says, "Oh, I know you two don't get along. Yeah, this isn't going to end well." And now it's starting to come back to me. Now I'm starting to remember the lore down in the Demetrix and how dark the lore of this arc is compared to the other. Because, there's other Iris arcs that were kind of dark. Like, I would say beginning of Behemoth, the Behemoth arc is kind of dark in its own way. The story of Agala arc is definitely dark in its own way, but I would say Dawn of the Demetrix, the Valentin Renegade arc, I would say it's the darkest one of all because of what happens in it.
Finally, a special message to Abram, my eldest.
Okay.
This is a big responsibility you must take as the eldest, so please make sure Jebediah is kept protected and safe at all costs.
Alright.
Our Smiths will help guide you, as well as the artificial intelligence I'd created, Dovacon. I think you're really going to get along well with them. Just... don't forget to keep smiling, boys. Bethany, the world, thank you for always believing in me. I love you all so very much. Oh, P.S. In the event of a crisis, in my coffin, I would like the key to resetting everything buried along with me. I do trust my boys with my life, but with such big responsibilities, I'd rather they not have too hard of a job. Please protect them. Keep them out of harm's way.
The key to resetting everything. I wonder what that implies. Like, the key to resetting the world, or... And now that I think about that, the key to resetting everything was never brought up again by the time that this whole arc was concluded. That was the one loose end that was never explained. I mean, we know it's buried with Gabriel, but it was never explained. It was never brought up again. It's mentioned in this, but it's never brought up again. I wonder if Will retconned that. I don't know if he did. I wonder, though. Oh, and also, if you guys want to know who the Smiths are, because that is kind of confusing, the Smiths are the guards that Abram has, that Gabriel put in place. They pretty much guard Abram and his brother Jebediah at all times, essentially. And they guard the family, essentially. They're guards. That's basically what they do.
I love you all so much. Do be Can we turn this off, please? It's too much. Turn it off.
Bioweapon experiment successful. Mass production initiated. Protocol activated. Project Biotide. Oh, and just so you know, that is a little teaser for one of Will's songs. It's called Biotide, and that's in the album. It's a bonus track, actually. It was in the deluxe version of Dawn of the Demetrix, and it's a pretty fire song, not gonna lie. It's like, I believe Biotide's one of the hardest Iris songs. It's so good to listen to. Alright, let's move on to our next video. Okay, the second video we're going to be reacting to today is Transmission 1. Now, these were the videos that we got leading up to the release of Dawn of the Demetrix, and this tells the whole story. So this transmission takes place many years later after Gabriel's death, and Abram is now an adult man. And he is the one running the Valentin legacy, and Jebediah is, unfortunately at this point, unseen. But we will find out what happens to Jebediah a little bit later. I love this.
Dawn is about to begin, and our new world order will soon come to fruition. I've been waiting far too long to smell that bittersweet victory. That man? I wouldn't even call him so much a figure in my life as he was more of a homewrecker. Ruined our precious family, and maybe even the world if he hadn't been dropped to his knees. I've spent years undoing everything he made, and now we're drawing ever so close to our plans falling into place.
When dawn looks bleak and the clouds make haste with blind optimism, you must push onward. Embrace the new dawn with adventure. Down you may fall, but down you will never stay.
Okay, and that is the end of that one. So the first half is Abram, and then the white half, it's kind of unclear who's talking there. A lot of people have assumed that it might be Goliath talking to us, the viewer, or the other headcanon theory is that it's the Iris talking to Goliath, since the Iris is the all-knowing archival, and we do actually find out in this story that the Iris merges with Goliath. It becomes embedded in his right eye, and hence why he gains his skeletal form. I mean, he doesn't gain his skeletal form because of the Iris, but events later pretty much show why he becomes a skeleton. So, I don't want to spoil too much, but yeah. This is the album where Goliath becomes the skeleton, essentially. He's not his, like, strong Vegalian form that we saw back in the story of Vegala, or in A Hero's Dissension, where he had, you know, flesh and all that. And he looked human, essentially. Okay, our third video we're going to be reacting to today is Operation Baltorne number 1. Now, this is after the events, now, I will have to give a little backstory to why all this is happening, because some of this is a little confusing. Okay, so a while ago, Will released a video called The Untitled Novel Announcement when Dawn of the Demetrix first released. And in that video, he basically gives the whole story of Dawn of the Demetrix. Well, in the story, a mysterious boulder made of ether crashes into the woods of the Baltorne tribe. Now, Operation Baltorne is coming from Abram's side, where Dovecom debriefs the Smiths, the guards that guard Abram, essentially, talking about what they plan to do with this mythical boulder and what they plan to do about the Baltorne tribe as Abram's New World Order has officially started to begin. So we'll read this little description that says, Debriefing on Operation Baltorne has begun, and with the death of their leader, the retriever of a mythical boulder from the core of Midoriya, its citizens have grown weary and cautious of the leadership taking place. So we're going to be introduced to Dovecom very early in this series at the point.
Greetings, fellow Smithsonians. I am Dovecom. You have been cordially invited to a debriefing following the incident in Baltorne Faction 1. As you are aware, all inhabitants have been exterminated, including tribe leader Jebediah Dunford.
And also, this is the first time we actually get to see Jebediah's face. He looks very cool. He's got white hair.
This will result in a revolt from all remaining factions, given our peace treaty has ceased its served purpose. Your mission? Destroy all factions.
One thing I would like to mention real quick is, yes, the Valentin Legacy and the Baltorne tribe had a peace treaty with the Valentin Legacy, because that was during the time of Gabriel's rule, because Gabriel believed that the tribe was very important, but Abram, obviously, he sees them as disposable, essentially. And sometime later down the line, Jebediah, he ends up running away from his family and ends up joining the Baltorne, which this really angers Abram when he reaches adulthood, essentially.
We have held Jebediah captive and are continuing efforts to find purpose moving forward, using the gathered remains of an obscure and mythical boulder descending from unknown origins. It is believed under current rulings it may serve purpose to bring Dodoria, a newfound resource to further strengthen our economical and planet-healing endeavors. To ensure the operation continues as planned, you have been advised to carry out the task in as little consequence as possible. You will be divided into groups of hundreds.
Wow.
Speak to nobody.
Groups of hundreds. Wow. He must have a lot of Smiths at his disposal. That's a lot of dudes. Abram's packing some heavy firepower.
No vocal contact with the Baltorne. It is imperative we avoid the unprofessional actions made in Faction 1. Remain with decorum and speak not of this briefing to anyone. You have been warned. In case of immediate threat and emergency, we have installed several new drones known as biotides to help harvest trouble and recycle them back into reusable energy outlets. Do not press unless all contingencies fall back. On a lighter note, our leader has a distant family celebration. It is Drolling Clodor's birthday today. To celebrate, we have a special event planned for him. Provide your RSVPs post haste. We have an evening of celebration to be had. Stay bold, and remember, the Renegade never stops.
The Renegade never stops. Interesting. On to the next video. The fourth video we will be reacting to today is Transmission 2. Let's get into it.
I wish you'd stop bringing that man up. He built this world in his own image. Seems perfect, does it not? It's a world crafted by a liar, a drunken fool, strong-willed. Was that why I had to see him kill Mother?
Oh.
Was that why he had me dig her up in the middle of the forest? Is that why he dug his own grave, right where she lay? And now, here I am, picking up the slack. Well, none of this will do. I have to undo everything he made, create a new world in my vision. I won't have this world laced by a liar's grace anymore. One shot from the barrel, full throttle. Just another day at the bottom of a barrel.
The fault and fall of another's error is not your burden to take. Shadows may be persuasive, but as hard as it is to resist, you must push towards the light. One's bitter darkness can be your shining light that defends the world you pave. You can be gold in disguise.
Okay. So pretty much in summary of that video, that is basically Abram ranting about his father and how he wasn't that very good. Now, this is actually all later explained. This is solely what, the only thing I can really say story-wise is this is solely what Abram believes because of the things that he's seen during his childhood. He believes that his father was truly a bad man. And while, yes, maybe his choices weren't exactly the best, that's not entirely the truth. Now, in his will, Gabriel seems very humble. He seems like a very respectable person. But then you hear Abram's perspective of Gabriel, and it's totally wrong. It's totally something evil, or macabre, at least. But later we will find out that Abram's perspective is not entirely correct. So pretty much what I'm saying is Abram can't fully be trusted with what he says about Gabriel, because it's a misguided notion, essentially. But I can't spoil it, but we'll find out later. The fifth and final video we will be reacting to today is Transmission 3.
Stupid rock! We've been carving it for days and it feels like we aren't making progress at all!
Okay, let me pause just for one quick second just to kind of explain to this guys. Okay, so this is after the moment where Abram and his Smiths have retrieved the ether boulder from the Baltorne tribe, and this is after Jebediah has I gotta mention this now because you guys aren't going to understand it. In the Untitled Novel announcement, the ether boulder crashes into the Baltorne woods. Jebediah finds it first, and he tries to protect his tribe. Abram comes in, basically steals the boulder and kills his own brother, and drags him back to their main base of operations, where this all takes place, the Domeplex. The Domeplex is like this huge triangular building. It's built with 3 thick walls, and it has a bank that contains all the world's money in it, and many biotechnical quarters, labs, and pretty much where Abram hangs out because he's essentially a glorified dictator, essentially. That's the role he's taken on. He's not so much a leader, he's a dictator.
I don't know what their obsession was with these lifeless organisms. But he's home now. Still as useless as ever, and dare I say, even more useless now. We locked him up in the cryogenic lab where he belongs. What on God's green grass is going on? Snitch, why is it blowing? Is this thing on? God blast it! Just get the hell away from that thing! What did we just witness? And what was that dark creature hurling toward us? Dovacom, explain!
Analyzing material manifestation. Unknown material acquired. Dark matter. It seems this rock was capable of opening up a portal to another world or dimension. Perhaps a multiverse paradox forced their world and ours to collide.
My God! Can we reopen it?
Unfortunately, because we do not have the scientific equation, equipment, materials, nor time, we have no way of simulating the events of the past 5 minutes.
So...
Okay, now to explain the events of the past 5 minutes. So what happened, the ether boulder, they've been carving it to its core, and what it started doing was it started glowing. That glowing opened up a wormhole, or essentially a portal, to Goliath's world, the depths. So Abram, he gets the bright idea, since this portal is open, his scientists actually end up spotting the iris emblem, and they figure, why don't we just take that? Because apparently on Abram's world, there's been myths and legends of a all-knowing emblem of archival floating around for centuries. And they actually end up spotting the iris emblem. But instead of deciding to take the emblem, Abram gets the good idea to just make a brand new emblem. So essentially what this ether boulder does, it copies the power of the iris, essentially, and it opens up this portal to Goliath's world. And Abram's like, the only compromise that they can come up with, why don't they just destroy the depths and everyone in it? So that's what he does. Abram basically ends up invading the depths. Goliath tries to hoard everybody off. He turns the Onyx Colony soldiers against them, like he hypnotizes them with the fake iris emblem, essentially, the Demetrix, which it's later named. And the Onyx Colony turn on Tyrant and Fate. Goliath fights off the Onyx Colony, but Tyrant and Fate unfortunately are badly wounded and they die. But before they die, Tyrant and Fate tell Goliath to use the power of the iris emblem and to close the wormhole. So he jumps up into the sky, he grabs the emblem, the depths ends up exploding, and everyone dies on the planet, except for one person, Goliath. But when Goliath wakes up, he realizes he is no longer a man no more. He is a skeleton. He is nothing but skull and bones. He goes over to a lake and he looks at his reflection and he realizes, well, he's a skeleton now. And he also realizes that the iris emblem has merged with his right eye. And then later, 2 piles of ether fall onto the ground and they lunge onto his back, thus creating his ether snakes. So now, Goliath is a skeleton and he has his iconic snakes with him. And he's also now carrying the weapons of Tyrant and Fate. So now he's heading to Nidoria, essentially, to pay back Abram. Not as of this point in the story, but he will eventually.
This thing is useless now. Served its purpose. How unfortunate.
Sir, the material is still showing large temperature readings. Our light is still emitting. We may be able to repurpose this boulder for something new.
We can't let the people turn against us. This would be all over the news. The people. Yes, that's it. Dovacom. See if we can get any use out of this boulder by connecting it to all of our infrastructure.
Consider it done, sir. Studying it now.
This thing is a dime a dozen. We'll trick its magic into our own game. We'll call it the Demetrix.
Project Demetrix initiated.
I must study this thing further. But what the... It's usually sitting here. Has someone stolen my Dover visor? I'll have your head if you don't do it.
Also, the thing that Abram just mentioned, how he's missing his quote-unquote Dova visor, it is actually implied during this scene that the visor got sucked through the wormhole, and so that's how Goliath actually ended up with his most iconic visor that we see him with all the time. So pretty much it's more so implied that the visor got sucked through the wormhole, and Goliath found it, and he's like, "Oh, cool, a visor," and puts it on.
Replication will always be a soulless and magicless tool built to spit on a craft that even brought the Vajra to existence. Know that your own magic is the existence of everything else that surrounds it. Knowing your light is what started it all has more bearings than a bleak shadow of someone's own self. Only you have the true magic, so use it wisely.
And so yeah, that was Gabriel's final will and the first 3 transmissions plus Operation Baltorne number 1. Well guys, unfortunately that is all the time I have today for this video. So please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications for when I upload new videos, and make sure to follow my social media links down in the description below to join the Ghoul Renegade. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye!